Welcome back to the Grand Solar Minimum channel. Today is March 8th, 2017. Doing a live update here on the Grand Solar Minimum channel. I want to start off once again thanking regionxradio.com. We spent a couple of hours with them speaking to them about the Grand Solar Minimum. Had a really nice conversation just about Grand Solar Minimum related topics and other things as well. So a big shout out to them. Thank you very much for having us. We definitely enjoyed the interview. All right, let's get to some space weather real quick. We'll check on our star today. Looking at the solar wind speeds, we're at 365 kilometers per second with a density of 8.8. We are expecting solar wind stream to hit Earth's magnetic field, sparking auroras around the Arctic Circle. It's a 25 chance of polar geomagnetic storms today, increasing to 45% by tomorrow, March 9th, as Earth moves into the stream. Really nice picture here on spaceweather.com. You got your snow falling and the aurora at the same time. Taking a look at the sun, 0 sunspots again. We are now sitting at day number 5. That's 33 days on the year. We are officially half of the year without sunspots. KP indices was at a quiet 1 with a 24-hour max of 2. And looking at our SDO, and I'll tell you what I will do is we'll take a look at the SDO in motion, because I wanted to take a quick peek at these no, maybe I won't. Let's go back to space weather. So look at the coronal holes right now that we have on the sun. You see that active region here next to a coronal hole. That should be here in a couple days, Earth facing. Still, they have not named this area as a sunspot as of yet. Very active, but still not classified as a sunspot as of yet. We have a very tiny coronal hole facing Earth right now. Shouldn't be anything from that really to worry about. And then, like I said, here we look at the eastern limit of the sun, and here in the northeast region as well, we have 2 coronal holes that are coming towards Earth, so we will be watching out for solar winds coming from that. Part of my space weather report I want to do as well is something that we need to look at on Earth Null on a daily basis, it seems. Too many times where so much fake news out there, and it's really hard to discern or sort through some of this fake news. So here at the Grand Solar Minimum channel, we want to offer up some readings from the North Pole, because we had a very rare event happen a few weeks ago, a week or so ago, sudden atmospheric warm up in the stratosphere. And everybody is now, trying to say that it's melting at the North Pole.
Do you want me to tweak that screen, Jake, so people can see that temp?
Oh, yeah, if you could, please. I was going to announce it, but
seeing is believing.
That's true. That way, we're showing you guys what we're seeing here. Minus 24 degrees Fahrenheit. And I switched it to Fahrenheit so we could all, get a better idea with the temperatures. 25 below here. 42 and a half degrees below zero. Let's go over here. Okay, 11 and a half degrees below zero. I don't see anywhere right now in the North Pole. Now maybe northern Alaska, 6 degrees. Heat wave, very balmy, 6.4 degrees right now in the northern tip of Alaska. Balmy. They've got the shorts out. But the reason why I'm going to start doing this is that we're seeing more and more fake news about the North Pole is melting. And I'm going to go right at 90, show the surface temperature, even at the very part of the North Pole is still a negative 18.9. Now, yes, they're normally a little colder than this, but below zero to me just seems still well below freezing. I don't see any evidence of any kind of Arctic melt going on right now, not with these temperatures. Like I said, it's a balmy 6.4, in northern Alaska. But other than that, guys, this is typical weather here in the North Pole. Yeah, we had that very strange anomaly where it warmed up really fast and split that polar vortex. But since then, it's business as usual up there. Taking a look at our South Pole here, negative 64.3, negative 61, negative 54, negative 56, negative 36.5. Okay, so we're seeing some very cold temperatures at both North and South Pole. Just the other day, or actually today, I'm jumping around now, but this has brought up another point here that I wanted to show everybody here. Bear with me, I'm loading up another page here on thegrandsolarminimum.com. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is I want to show everybody this article that I put up today. And this is another thing that we're hearing about, is that the sea ice growth is it's declining, it's disappearing. We're not, that warm up there is making things worse. And I found an article in No Trick Zone today that talks about the actual amount of sea ice that we've gained. But I just wanted to read a little bit here, and then I'll let you guys take a look at yourselves. The description should be in the box. It talks about, here we go. In his seminal 1982 book, Climate History and the Modern World, the renowned climatologist Dr. H.H. Lamb revealed that the sea ice in the subarctic and Arctic regions was much less extensive during the medieval warm period, which was the 9th through the 13th centuries, compared to today. Now, for example, records indicate that there was a decadal and centennial scale periods without any sea ice invading the coast of Ireland. These no-ice periods coincided with atmospheric CO2 concentrations of 275 parts per million, which is about 130 parts per million less than today's calculated CO2 values. So as you see, during the medieval warm period through the 9th and the 13th centuries, we had less CO2 in the atmosphere and no sea ice on the coast of Ireland or Iceland. So if that's the case, then people that are blaming the 400 parts per million as the reason why we're warm, then why do we have any ice at all up there in the North Pole whatsoever? So this article is on the No Trick Zone. I've got the link here for you guys. Take a look at it. Please read up on it. They provide us with graphs that show us the extent of the sea ice. And as you see right here, there is a line that's clearly declining up. It's inclining up. And as we get around the year 2000 and beyond, you see it did take a dip, but is definitely indicating that it is on the mend right now. And with the temperatures that I just showed you, I'd say these graphs and the temps that we have going on right now are definitely on the same page here as far as sea ice goes. So again, I'm not trying to be cheeky, but I have seen so many articles about the North Pole is now warming up to 45 degrees Fahrenheit and there's melting going on everywhere. And that's just not true, folks. That's just what mainstream global warmists are trying to keep their lie alive as long as possible. And I just really wanted to point this out and let everyone see the information for themselves. Again, the article link will be in the description box, and it was also posted today on the grandsolarminimum.com page in the vlog section. Also, wanted to show you something real fast before we go to that. Here on Earth Null, this cyclone that I'm getting ready to talk about, and it is very, very well defined here on Earth Null. As we'll take a look here, let's back it out here at about the 500. I think is where we saw it the best. Maybe, yeah, that's pretty good. So here we go. I'm getting ready to talk about Cyclone Ola, and I just wanted to show you how it's showing up right now on the Earth Null map, just to show you how organized and tight this storm system really is. And Mara, you're the one that brought me attention to this one here. Your concern was, is this a possible type of cyclone that's going to just take out an entire territory here?
I was worried that it would wipe out that island similar to the way Puerto Rico did. Oh, there goes the cat knocking stuff over. So this is approaching the island. Last I checked this morning, I haven't checked the updated information on this. It was a Mag 4 ramping up to a Mag 5. It was supposed to make landfall at 4, and I am concerned. Last I read, Vanuatu, it whipped through, knocked out power and communication. I'll probably do a separate update aftermath video of this tomorrow once I have more information. The problem with these areas is, the information comes in a bit slow. With what exactly is going on down there, but very big storm.
Well, powerful winds too. They're reporting 187 miles an hour. You were right. It's a Cat 4, equivalent to a Category 2 if it was a hurricane in the Atlantic or the Gulf. So, serious storm down there. We know that there's a lot of.
Did I say mag? I meant cat.
Well, there's a lot going on with the Mag Day.
The cat knocked off the table,
which goes back to my debunk theory about flat Earth. We talked about this briefly last night on Region X Radio, and the reason why I know that the Earth is not flat is because those of you who own cats, all the cats would probably assimilate at the edge of the Earth and knock everything off the planet. So that's how I know the Earth is not flat.
I love how you think that's so hysterical. It makes me laugh.
Well, the cat just knocked something off our table, so that just proves my theory.
Cat is psycho.
Right.
Ever since we bought him cat treats, it's been, there's a weird cat psychosis going on. Anyway. So
this storm is expected to track southeastward along the periphery of the subtropical ridge located to the east. In short term, the system will continue to increase in intensity, reaching a peak intensity of 222 kilometers per hour, which is 138 miles an hour. And that's by March 9th, and then it will begin to weaken at that point. So let's hope this thing fizzles out before it gets over land anywhere else. Take a look at the maps here where it's tracking over. This is also going to be in the description box, this link here, but also watchers.news. Most of you are familiar with this website. We definitely, that's a brand new one. Actually, we've already covered the Peru landslide. I wanted to briefly touch base with an earthquake story today in Mozambique, Africa. A rare 5.6 and then a 5.2 was recorded today, and they're saying it was the strongest quake in the region since the sequence of earthquakes that struck Karonga district in 2009 that lasted about 15 seconds. Now this one here, I think I saw they were saying it was very quick earthquake, but for them to get not one but two, they got a 5.6 and then just a few miles away, looking at a 5.2. So, and on top of this surprise earthquake over here in Africa, we have also news again today. Mari brought it up briefly on our website and the YouTube channel. We had another, now the reports officially came in at 7.0. It's been downgraded to a 6.8. We all know why. It's an average that they use. So, but it's a 6.8. But again, this was number 6 now. This is the 6th magnitude 6-point earthquake down there since February 25th. And we're still on a quake watch, according to suspicious observers. He believes that we should see an 8.0 within the next 3 weeks. And today, the 7.0, he was close. This one was out in the ocean waters near New Ireland territory. So nothing on land like the last few have reached in Papua New Guinea, but it's still a territory of that area. So I thought that this would be something to talk about real fast. So far, there are no tsunami threats. So that's good news because this was a shallow quake. They're saying now it's 18.6 miles, but the original report that I saw was 6.2 miles. So it was a very shallow quake. So I wanted to touch base on that. Mari, did you have anything you wanted to add about the quakes or anything volcanic today? Or
Well, I'm in the chat here. Somebody asked me about the volcanoes, about the Vesavi volcano, any signs of that. I still, to me, from what I've been finding, that is definitely fake news about the Vesavi eruption. I have not vetted that information, so until I see different right now, that news article probably got, I don't know what was that, the Daily Journal or something? I forgot.
I can't remember the source.
Originally put it out, but I'm gonna write the person and ask how they got that information, because I still find it peculiar. It worries me that someone actually witnessed smoke coming out of that volcano, and I can't vet the information.
Vet it, yeah.
And it's a hard area to get information from anyway. So.
And this is just like us showing Earth null and surface temps at the North and South Pole. You've got to be careful with this stuff.
I've been following some of the people on social media, the bloggers in PNG. I'll probably just reach out to one of them and ask them, what the word is locally with that. I am seeing in the chat, Jeff is having a pretty rough winter or spring, depending on how you want to divvy up the days. I want to be politically accurate here with people.
Right.
Jeff, I am so sorry to hear this. He just wrote in the chat, last month it was 70 degrees one day. Next day, tornado destroyed his home. And then the next day it snowed. Never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
Unreal, Jeff.
Where is he located at? Did he say?
So sorry to hear that. That's in Pennsylvania.
Okay. In fact, I think this is the same Jeff. I think he commented on the video that I made about that tornado, the rare February tornado. Yeah, buddy, I'm telling you, and I feel for those folks out there, because that was a really old city out there, very historic little town, and a lot of the architecture probably didn't stand a chance to some of the strong winds that they got. So it has been probably one of the craziest winters that I've experienced myself. I'm 40 years old, and I'm sure folks out there who are older than me can say that it's been a while since they've seen this kind of action too. Looking at tropical tidbits, because there's so much more to talk about. New England, you guys are going to get this snow for a little bit longer. We had snowfalls in our, I'm not sure if that banner's working right now, Mari, too. I was going to show some snow totals. I can fix it
next time you want to toss it to me, Jake.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and toss it to you now, and I'll just leave it on the screen right here for now. But looking at the map right now, we see a lot of light snow. This storm system, actually by Friday, this is March 9th, finally starts to leave New England. But if you see the wraparound of the snow that's going into Canada, that's coming back in the form of lake effect snows for western New York and western Pennsylvania and northeast Ohio. So I saw a very interesting forecast for us, especially for the Buffalo area. A local news channel had forecasted that we are expecting between 4 and 12 inches of snow between now and Saturday morning. And I just thought that's a very wide window. Kudos to weathermen who think that's, I guess, hey, it's kind of funny to me to see a weatherman actually give you that big of a window. It's almost saying like, the sun's coming out today too, around 6:30 this morning. But anyway, a friend of mine who lives in Connecticut, when this storm started here, Winter Storm Quinn, he had showed me a warning for the region where he lives, and they were calling for 9 to 13 inches of snow, and that was in the very early goings of this storm. Now, this winter storm produced snow bands near Philadelphia. 6 inches per hour was reported in some locations. The majority in that region saw, realistically though, about 2 to 4 inches per hour falling of snow. Now this snow is a heavy, wet, slushy snow, so it's very heavy. Folks that are in that region, take it easy when you're out there shoveling. You don't want to overdo it. So many injuries. I think I could have injured myself last week shoveling this heavier snow, but a lot of it's slushy. And the reason why I was saying about the 9 to 13 inches is that I later talked to him, and they got 5 inches total. And I think just temperatures, the ground's just been so warm that, it's possible that that's why they didn't accumulate. They might have got enough snow in the air to create the 9 to 13 inches of snow. But he said it looked more like 5 to 6 inches with the warmer temperatures out there. It turned into about 2 inches when it was all said and done. And I think it's already mostly melted at this point. So thank you, Mari, for being the producer on the fly like that. It's talent right there, folks. All right, so let's get into this. Here's the 9th. The system is trying to leave here. Quinn is trying to make its exit. It finally does, but there's that lingering lake effect snow. And now we look at March 11th, this Sunday. This is the next system that some forecasters think that there's a chance that this could be the 3rd nor'easter. But a lot of forecasters are only saying that just because there is a possibility and they don't want to be blamed for not alerting enough people. We go into late Sunday into early Monday and take a look at the heavy precipitation off of the east coast here, and you start to see a snow line, a very heavy snow line. So we definitely want to keep our eyes on southeast Kentucky and northern Tennessee, southwest Kentucky and northwest Tennessee as well. Moving along here, Monday that snow band gets bigger, more cold air filters in from Canada. And there's the storm right there on Monday. We are seeing this low pressure system setting up. It's hugging the coast once again. And the models have changed here. GFS models have changed. This storm was forecasted to just blow straight out of here into the Atlantic Ocean. However, this one seems to be a fast moving storm. As Tuesday, we see it skating up the New England area once again, Connecticut, Boston, Massachusetts. You guys are in for some more snow, and it looks like more heavy snow like you got just now. So take whatever you have right now, maybe slap on another 8 to 12 inches coming your way for folks that live along the East Coast, Boston, Connecticut, New Hampshire, New Jersey, Philadelphia. You might be in line. New York City might be in line for some heavy snow. And then it looks like more of the same after that snow system moves out. Looks like some lake effect does develop once again in the same areas, but not as widespread this time around. So when this next storm system moves off the coast, and I think they're going to call that one Skylar, we look back at the west coast on the 15th, and the moisture starts to ramp up once again as another storm system comes across the northwest into the middle of the country, and it gets nasty by the 18th. Look at the size of this system, folks. We get a brief warm-up too in the northeast, which will allow this to fall in rain. So whatever snow that we still have on the ground, which right now the temperatures are supporting it not going anywhere anytime soon, it will melt. And I think the worry now is going to be flooding here once again to that region, the Ohio Valley, the Mississippi Valley. Towards the end of the month, this big system that we've been kind of looking at here on a daily basis is still showing up in our models that it's going to be effective here by the 20th of March. And I keep saying this every time we go through this. It looks like it might quiet down, but yet the next day we look at the report again.
Are you able to scroll up a little bit so people can see Texas? Or move the banner so people can see it?
Yeah, I'll just move the banner. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, Texas needs the rain, for sure.
I'll just move that down. I gotta move that for Earthnall.
So I'll go back a little bit here because I'm sure folks want to see this low coming off the west coast here on the 15th as it starts up. And there's your rain, central Texas, west Texas. You're starting to see some moisture come in from the Gulf. Fades away quickly, but don't fear, you have more rain on the way as this system is going to pull moisture up from the Gulf. And by Saturday of next weekend, we're talking about a major storm system moving across the plains into the northern plains, the upper Midwest. That's a good sized storm, folks. But again, we're 2 weeks away on this one, about 10 days out. But what's the common denominator here is that we are seeing storm system after storm. I mean, this is March 23rd. I can't stress that you can't take this for, a grain of salt right now, but the fact that it's showing up in the end of the month, what a pattern. And it's suggesting by the late March that we will see cold enough temperatures through most of the country for snow. So now I understand why some of these global cooling groups that I'm in are concerned about planting their crops right now. If we're still getting snow and it's March 24th, we're 3 days past spring at this point. So interesting to see how that plays off. Let's take a look at the across the pond real quick, because I haven't been showing their weather lately. Hopefully, I haven't seen much of Starman lately. Hopefully he's doing well, but Starman, he covers the weather over there way better than I do. One, just because he lives out there and he's more familiar with the landscape than I am. But nevertheless, where is it? I must be blind. There it is. It says Europe. That's the one we'll take. All right. Thank you, Tropical Tidbits. I just had to look for that Europe word. So here we go. Friday this week. Most of the region getting ready to get walloped here. And as it moves into the 10th, the UK is going to be soggy. France, you're going to get some rain as well. Spain, the entire country is going to get rain. A low pressure system moves in on the 11th. So, you know, it looks like that it's not just here in the US that's going to continue to get this stormy pattern. I almost want to say that you guys are getting some massive systems here. And this low pressure system, this concerns me. I'm going to back this up a little bit. And hopefully David gets back with me on this one. Take a look at this storm system here. Low pressure, it's at 972 millibars. As we move into Friday, it just kind of hangs out on the coast. Spins around. Saturday, still there. Sunday, still there. This thing kind of makes an exit. I mean, we're going into Monday. So, some possibility of some flooding in that region as well next week. Good Lord. It's been a good night, folks.
I got to pay attention more to you than the chat, Jake.
I think so. Sorry about that, guys. Let's run this back a little bit more here. I do apologize. We'll get through the technical errors. I was telling Robert last night on the radio show that Mari and I can't do a show without...
There's always something.
Without
if
having...
If we're not late, there's some kind of technical issue.
Sure. It's not easy doing these live updates, but they're a lot more fun. We get a chance to maybe interact with the chat a little bit.
I like talking to the subs. I like seeing you all in here and saying hi. That's why we do it, even though it's a bit quirky.
And I love talking about weather and grand solar minimum related topics. So this is kind of a way for us to just communicate with you guys. And we plan to do more of these on a daily basis to keep everyone to update as much as possible. I think that's pretty much everything that I would like to go over. Mari, did you have any last words for tonight?
Well, we'll have, if you haven't heard the radio show yesterday, we'll put that up and have links to the radio show. They're also doing a radio show tonight. And then, I'm going to put their link on thegrandsolarminimum.com.
Yeah.
There's people in the chat just talking about how awful planting conditions are. Yeah, the ground is like anything you put in right now is going to rot. So, hang in there. We'll see. Indoor starting seeds probably is where it's at right now for people. What do you say?
They asked us on the radio show last night what we thought were the best solutions for here in the upcoming grand solar minimum as far as our food goes. And, Mari and I really believe that indoor growing is going to have to really flourish. Just because of what we're looking at here in the United States is the same thing that we're looking at in Europe as well. I mean, storm after storm after storm after storm. You guys don't have a break in sight over there either, so...
Morgan says, plant snow cones and slushies. Be huge by harvest.
I tell you what, that's probably the $1 million business is going to be snow cones here. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. We will talk soon. Please like and share. Take care, guys. Welcome back to the Grand Solar Minimum channel. Today is March 8th, 2017. Doing a live update here on the Grand Solar Minimum channel. I want to start off once again thanking Stream to hit Earth's magnetic field, sparking auroras around the Arctic Circle. It's a 25 chance of polar geomagnetic storms today, increasing to 45% by tomorrow, March 9th, as Earth moves into the stream. Really nice picture here on spaceweather.com. You got your snow falling and the aurora at the same time. Taking a look at the sun, 0 sunspots again. We are now sitting at day number 5. That's 33 days on the year. We are officially half of the year without sunspots. KP indices was at a quiet 1 with the 24-hour max of 2. And looking at our SDO, and I'll tell you what I will do is we'll take a look at the SDO in motion, because I wanted to take a quick peek at these no, maybe I won't. Let's go back to space weather. So look at the coronal holes right now that we have on the sun. You see that active region here. RegionXradio.com. We spent a couple of hours with them speaking to them about the Grand Solar Minimum. Had a really nice conversation just about Grand Solar Minimum related topics and other things as well. So a big shout out to them. Thank you very much for having us. We definitely enjoyed the interview. All right, let's get to some space weather real quick. We'll check on our star today. Looking at the solar wind speeds, we're at 365 kilometers per second with a density of 8.8. We are expecting solar wind